Welcome to Policy Weekly, where we explore agricultural policies that shapes the past, define the present, and determine the future of food security in Nigeria. Today we begin a journey from Operation Feed the Nation in 1976 through the revolution of the 1980s to the Agricultural Transformation Agenda, and now the renewed Hope Agricultural Agenda under the current administration. And we will be asking one key question, a question that defines decades of policy in Nigeria. Are our agricultural policies truly feeding the nation, or are we simply changing names over time? To understand Operation Feed the Nation, we must first understand Nigeria before 1976. Before the oil boom era fully reshaped the economy, agriculture was the backbone of Nigeria's revenue. According to historical records from the World Bank Development Report, agriculture contributed over 60% of GDP in the 1960s and employed the majority of the population. Cash crops like cocoa, groundnut, palm oil, and cotton were major export earners for the country. But by the early 1970s, things changed. Oil revenue increased rapidly. Agriculture began to decline in national priority. Rural-urban migration increased. Food production slowed down, and Nigeria began importing more food items. By the mid-1970s, Nigeria was facing rising food import bills and growing concern about food security. This was the environment that led to the birth of Operation Feed the Nation. Operation Feed the Nation was launched in May 1976 under the military government of General Olusegun Obasanjo. Its central goal was simple but ambitious: to make Nigeria self-sufficient in food production. The government believed agriculture should not be left to rural farmers alone. It should be a national responsibility. The slogan became powerful across the country: every Nigerian must farm. According to documented policy reviews from Nigeria's Ministry of Agriculture archives, Operation Feed the Nation was designed to achieve 3 goals. 1. Increased food production. 2. Reduced imports. And 3. National mobilization. The program encouraged school gardens, backyard farming, and participation from civil servants and students. Agricultural extension officers were deployed to educate farmers. Fertilizer subsidies and improved seedlings were also introduced. Public campaigns were broadcast on radio and television to encourage participation nationwide. One of the major strengths of Operation Feed the Nation was its ability to create mass awareness about agriculture. For the first time in Nigeria's post-independence history, agriculture became a national conversation. Urban agriculture increased. Households began small-scale food production in cities. Students were introduced to farming activities, and agricultural education became more visible in schools. According to agricultural policy retrospectives published by FAO and Nigerian researchers, Operation Feed the Nation helped reawaken interest in domestic food production. It also laid the foundation for later agricultural reforms, even though it was not fully successful in production targets. However, Operation Feed the Nation faced major structural weaknesses. First, there was weak coordination between federal and state governments. This reduced policy efficiency. Second, infrastructure was inadequate. storage facilities, irrigation systems, and rural roads were poorly developed. There was also the problem of extension services. They were limited in reach and also in effectiveness. Many farmers lacked technical support. Corruption and inefficiency also affected distribution of inputs like fertilizers and seedlings required for farming. According to policy analysis from FAO and Nigerian agricultural economists, these structural challenges limited Operation Feed the Nation's long-term success. By the early 1980s, Nigeria had not achieved food self-sufficiency, and this led to the next major policy shift.
What I have done today in my own backyard should therefore serve as symbol of what all Nigerians from all walks of life should be doing at this time of the year. Grow more food and make Operation Feed the Nation a successful operation. Thank you very much. The military government is convinced that we must produce what we need. We must curtail our appetite for what we do not produce. To ensure this, we have directed all efforts at laying the basis for the emergence of indigenous capital and innovative ability.
The Green Revolution program was introduced in 1980 under President Shehu Shagari. Its aim was to modernize agriculture through improved seedlings, fertilizer distribution, credit facilities, and mechanization. It was a more structured attempt than Operation Feed the Nation, with stronger emphasis on commercial farming. However, the program faced similar challenges. Corruption in inputs distribution remained a problem. Extension services were still weak and implementation was inconsistent across states. According to historical reviews by Nigerian policy scholars, the Green Revolution was failed to achieve its food production targets due to poor governance and weak institutional capacity. By the 1990s and early 2000s, Nigeria shifted toward mixed agricultural policies. Governments began reducing direct control and encouraged private sector participation. However, agriculture remained underfunded. Rural infrastructure remained weak. Nigeria continued to import food items such as rice and wheat in large quantities. According to FAO food security data, Nigeria became one of the largest rice importers in Africa during this period. A major shift came in 2011 under the Agricultural Transformation Agenda led by Dr. Akinwumi Adesina. This policy focused on treating agriculture as a business, not just a development program. It introduced electronic wallet systems for fertilizer distribution, improved cassava and rice production value chains, and attracted private sector investment. According to the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, ATA helped add millions of metric tons of food production, particularly in rice and cassava value chains. The Agricultural Promotion Policy, APP, also called the Green Alternative, continued reforms from ATA. It focused on food security, import substitution, and private investment. However, challenges persisted: climate change, insecurity in farming regions, and post-harvest losses. According to World Bank Nigeria Agricultural Assessment, post-harvest losses in Nigeria remain as high as 30 to 40% in some crops. Today, Nigeria's agricultural direction is shaped by the Renewed Hope Agricultural Agenda and NATIP framework. The focus is on mechanization, digital agriculture, and value chain development. There is also increased attention on dry season farming, food security interventions, and private sector partnerships. Government programs such as fertilizer distribution schemes, agro-input support, and credit systems are ongoing. However, Nigeria still faces major challenges: food inflation, insecurity in farming regions, and rising production costs. According to the recent FAO and World Bank reports, between 2023 to 2025, from Operation Feed the Nation in 1976 to today's Renewed Hope Agricultural Agenda, Nigeria's agricultural journey has been one of ambition, reform, and repeated challenges. Each policy brought hope, each policy introduced reforms, but few achieved full continuity and long-term impact. The question remains, are we truly feeding the nation, or simply rebranding the same struggle across generations? This has been Policy Weekly. Thank you for watching.